Okay.
Yes.
Fellow citizens, I share the outrage of all Dominicans at the sad, sorry turn this general election campaign has taken. Coming on the heels of the unprecedented hacking experience, where the computers of myself and my advisors were unlawfully hacked into and data removed, modified, and altered beyond recognition, we witnessed yesterday the awful spectacle of an incomplete team of opposition candidates filing to a podium in St. Joseph and reciting some of the most absurd and ill-conceived pledges this country has ever witnessed. I challenge the leadership of the United Workers' Party this morning to deny that its outlined solutions to the problems of Dominica were handed down to candidates hours before the meeting in St. Joseph. Senior members of the UWP have confirmed that those measures were never debated or discussed among candidates or at any senior level of the party. Those prescriptions are only laughable, but they are dangerous to the future economic well-being of Dominica. They are also identical to what has been proposed for political parties in St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Firstly, Dominicans should know that the same exact format used in St. Kitts and Nevis and in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is being imported lock, stock and barrel by these European advisors, all paid for by the same company which is seeking to secure an exclusive agency for the sale of Dominican passports. It is amazing that the same entertainer, Etana, was used by this group in St. Kitts 2 months ago, in St. Vincent 1 week ago, and now in Dominica. The same equipment, stage settings, props, and even billboard designs that were done for those countries are being advanced here in Dominica as the opposition's intended solution to our problems. Persons who may not have monitored the broadcast from St. Joseph would this morning be amazed to hear some of the outlandish ready-made prescriptions that Ron Green, led United Workers' Party, has put forward for Dominica. Firstly, it must be borne in mind that this is the same UWP that said 1 week ago that the economy of Dominica is in shambles and that on our present trajectory, we would not be able to pay the salaries of public officers by February of 2010. This is the same UWP that complained that the finances of Dominica are so bad that we are not paying our bills and that many capital projects are incomplete as a result of our inability to meet our obligations. Yet, the same UWP came to this country last night after 10 days of total confusion following the calling of the general elections and told us that it would miraculously introduce what has been conservatively estimated at $3.5 billion, that's billion with a B, dollars, in projects and services within 2 years of the December 18th general elections. The question I have for the European advisors, and not the leadership of the UWP, as they were merely reciting lines written on paper, is where would that $3.5 billion come from to finance these programs? Ron Green, as leader of the opposition, replied to my budget just a few weeks ago and could not advance a single solution to the problems of Dominica. The United Workers' Party did not, up to a week ago, have a single idea for creating a single job in Dominica. The United Workers' Party has consistently criticized every social program embarked upon by this Labour administration. Yet, yesterday, miraculously, the leadership of the UWP came to this country and recited 20 pledges that represent a complete reversal of the policies and the philosophy it has articulated over the past 4 years, and especially in the last 9 months. Let us examine some of the so-called solutions to Dominicans' problems. Let us look at what this group of the United Kingdom colonizers has told Ron Green and the United Workers' Party to put forward to the people of Dominica. Insurance for all nurses. That had been examined by us long ago and forms part of the overall public sector reform package currently occupying the attention of government. That proposal is not new. This government has done more for local nurses than any previous administration and will continue to look after these caregivers. 3 textbooks for all schools in Dominica. This is from a party that criticized our building of new schools, the provision of free transportation, and a $500 transfer grant to all first form students. That is the same party that criticized the subvention to preschool and daycare centers in the last budget. Can they be taken seriously? They also said that they will create opportunities for, and I quote, youths all over, end quote. I really do not know what that means, but that is typical British language. Tackle and reduce the level of crime. That is easier said than done. How will they do it? Again, that is how the British would say it. Commence construction of an international airport within 18 months. Can you believe, my friends, what you're hearing? Adopt a clear and positive diaspora policy, when in this campaign they want to stop persons in the diaspora from voting. They are calling people in the diaspora, telling them that if they participate in this election, they will lose their green cards and will not be able to return to the United States or country of residence, and at the same time are saying now that they will adopt a positive diaspora policy. 1,500 new jobs by January 2010, promoting a clean and green economy. That's 1,500 times $300 a week times 52 weeks a year. You do the arithmetic. After 9 years in opposition, the only jobs that they can find for Dominicans is that of cutting grass beside the road. Provide incentives for all small business owners in Dominica. Can they get any vaguer? What is that? What does it mean? This clearly was not thought of or written by Dominicans. Provide assistance for farmers at no cost. What in heaven's name is that? Farmers do not want certificates. They want markets, and they want direct technical and financial assistance, both of which have been provided by this Labour Party administration. I have already outlined plans to spearhead the marketing of the product in Europe, North America, and South America, and indeed the Caribbean. Listen to this one. Reduce building material duties on building materials. That is the one that took the cake. They will give duty-free on building materials. Not a cent will be charged by the government of the day. Fellow Dominicans, greater nonsense has never been spoken from a political platform in Dominica. I warn Dominicans that if the United Workers' Party would ever to return to office in Dominica, they would wreck and destroy this Dominican economy. These 20 pledges are an excellent manifestation of how that will be done. The UWP is proposing, as they say, a long overdue salary increase for teachers. But isn't it the same UWP who took teachers to court for their salaries? Here it is, the group of Dominican politicians, bankrupt and bereft of ideas, has allowed a group of European businessmen interested only in getting their hands on Dominican passports to come up with a set of initiatives that firstly cannot be implemented within the context and content of the current global economic environment, and also within the context of the many regional and international treaties Dominica is signatory to. Someone in the UWP should have told these European scribes that you cannot simply remove duties on building materials coming into Dominica, because several of these tariffs are set at the sub-regional, regional, and hemispheric level. Dominica will be thrown out of every multilateral agency in which it is a member if it will attempt half of these initiatives. Not only that, but my advisors in the Ministry of Finance have considerably put the value of that package of about $3.5 million. My question, and the question of all thinking Dominicans, must therefore be, from where would they get the money? How can a workforce of under 40,000 individuals come up with $3.5 million to finance such a program, when already the same UWP is saying the workers of Dominica are paying too much taxes? A country like Dominica raises money through three means: loans, grants, and taxes. Nobody in this economic environment is giving concessionary loans. The only two countries